All right, little pre-work ramble. I like to go live when often I run into a concept or a reoccurring topic that I have trouble understanding, in the hopes that one of you lovely, amazing, enlightened people will somehow uh, educate me on as to why something is what it is. I feel like there's maybe a part of me that should know, should understand this, but the majority of me, I have no idea. So what I'm doing, aside from addressing it like right now, is I forwarded this page that I found. It's an entire page dedicated to like a singular concept, one can argue, and I put it in the stuck in the middle topics because it's something I want to talk about. I want to open the phone lines. Shamrock, it's good to see you. Feel much more comfort when I see certain people in here, especially when what's up, Krupp? Can't make anybody do anything. Tell me about it. Hey, Levi. Welcome, Shabbat Shalom. So here, I'm going to break right into this right quick before I go to the workspace here. I found this page on Facebook. Now, at face value, you would think that this entire page, the dude's name is like John Saunders or something. Public figure, radio station guy. He's got his own website and his own church, apparently, maybe. What up, Shep? And the first video that got my attention, I thought it was maybe an argument or just a historic piece, matter of fact. And I'm not going to apologize for anybody that's tired of me talking about this. I am not a practicing Jewish person. I have family that's Jewish, and take that as you will. I have no hatred in my heart for them. I believe Israel has a fucking right to exist. And that, and I'm against Netanyahu and the expansion that's aggressive. I'm not a fan of when you go far enough to Palestine and their extremism. There's a lot of American aspects that are not welcome. Entire people that celebrate free Palestine. If you went to the countries of which you're trying to liberate with the very beliefs that you freely execute here, you find yourself possibly fucking executed yourself. So the page that I'm at, it's a video about every single country or landmass that persecuted, tried to unalive or remove the Jews entirely from their lands. Lewis, I don't care what you think, but God bless you, right? Is C-Fowls in the house? What's up, man? Yeah, I'm Jewish, man. Apparently in some sect, if your father's Jewish, you're allowed to be Jew. I don't know, man. But from what I've been told, for the 40 years I've been around, is your mom's not Jewish, you're not Jewish, you're not allowed to be Jewish, you're not in the club, do not pass go, you're not getting the wristband to get in the club. That's why I don't get that George Soros money dedicated to me so I can run my own, I don't know, tunnel. So this guy just listed every country that persecuted and kicked out the Jewish people. And I thought he was listing like, oh, this is a bad thing. Plot twist. I listened long enough, and it's just a picture of the Jewish Star of David, or the Star of David. Be redundant to say Jewish. And it just explains, and my God, I didn't know how long the Jews, can I say that? Juice? Orange juice. The Jews were kicked out of so many countries. And then, so there, the aspect, the honest humanity in me, the thinker in me, the born again in me, I want to understand why. What is it that's so evil in their preachings and teachings? Like, I've heard some takes that are disturbing. I can't deny that. But I can't deny that I've had Jewish family that took such great care with me, with great love, respect, adoration, compassion, humanity. So I take it personally, and I don't know if I should be taking it personally. So this guy's entire network is one, Christianity, spreading the word. I respect that. And then the other, the comments, the thread, is what really got me. There's about over 17,000 people that watched that single video that I share. I'm gonna play it on the Stuck in the Middle. Hopefully, we don't get suppressed for doing so. I just really want to understand. I want those phone lines open, which they will be. I want to understand why. What, like, hasn't there been enough blood shed? Like, is there at any point where we're like, okay, we punished them enough? What is it that's so inherently evil? I know, like, calling yourself the chosen people sounds arrogant. That's not what I subscribe to. The entire website of this John Saunders fellow with his radical fucking church is a hate the Jewish people network, and it's not shocking that there would be people inspired to unalive them, again with the thread. There's just people inside of this thread. Jesus, I just spit everywhere. Saying, yeah, get them. They had the right idea back then. Let's finish the work. Let's make it 111 countries. Apparently Spain, obviously Germany, Uruguay. I'm remembering off of just my seeing. And so I proposed the question: what the fuck is it? Lewis, somebody timed you out in the last live. Keep crying about it, bro. I don't know what you expect me to do or care about. You come in here and I've told you, give me a call, you piece of shit, but you want to just come in here and say, put a girl on. You get enough attention here, If you don't like the attention here or you need more, go talk to mama. I don't know what to say. So, did anybody have insight as to why this is so prevalent? Is it because they purport to be God's chosen? I thought there was a fundamental, like, alliance of the Jewish people and the Christian people. I mean, the only area I understand where people don't like the Jewish people is when you go to the extreme Zionist route. But I look at the definition, and even though there's a singular definition, there's so many different perceptions about it. One is, just acknowledging the sovereignty, the existence of Israel, like it deserves to be there. Given it was founded, officially founded in 1945, but apparently it goes way more ancient than that. But I don't want to speak out of ignorance. I'm just going off of what I hear. So I've heard it's just acknowledging that Israel deserves to be there and agreeing with that. And then there's extreme Zionism, which is just, I guess that would fall under the subset of they deserve to be there and they should expand. And that's not what I advocate for. Am I looped in, like, by default? Any radical Christians out there? I don't care what you are, I care what you do. That's, God bless, that is what I would certainly hope would be, like, more of the narrative. But what I'm finding out is when I go into a lot of these spaces on the internet, especially Rumble, and like the conservative audience and voices that I'd like to listen to, like Steven Crowder, Matt Walsh, in their chats are a bunch of people, let's say hypothetically I'm engaging and I'm talking and we're all getting along, and I mention my heritage or I disagree with some anti-Jewish sentiment that they're spouting, which is way more prevalent than I knew about or wanted to acknowledge. I already called it out on the left, so that's default. Free Palestine comes with a little bit of anti-Israel, anti-Judaism, anti-Semitism, and then far enough right, apparently. If I was to just say, my grandmother, who is Jewish, I love her more than life itself. She's gone, and I pray. Sometimes I pray to her, in the name of God, the Christian God. But I don't, these semantics don't matter to me. Why can't we just, I'm thinking of DEI. We don't like DEI, right? We want things or people to be recognized for their actions, for their merit, for their accomplishments. Why can't that be strewn about into these same circles where people are just looking, oh, look, Jewish person, fuck you, go take your shekels, your 30 pieces of silver, and fuck off. I hope you all, this is going to sound extreme. I don't want to get another highlight from YouTube in my email, but essentially, I hope you all, burn because the sentiment is not just getting them out of the country, it's seeing them suffer. And it makes me feel fucking gross and I guess offended, not triggered, but offended. I just want a larger discussion. So if you don't like DEI and you're going around with any kind of racism, right? You could talk about stats, statistics, and all that. Numbers don't lie. You know, I like those arguments more. But then the nuance of humanity, that's where I'm confused. Hey, Maxwell, we cucking for shekels? I don't know, man. People do this stuff to frickin' pit bulls. A breed of dog, of course they're gonna do it to races. You know, that's layman's enough for me to understand. I guess I feel so much more personally invested here, and maybe I shouldn't, right? Because you're right, it's not me, it's not my actions, it's not even my practices. I've never read the Talmud. I've never been inside of a synagogue. I got to wear the funny hat, though, the yarmulke. I did wear one of those for my boy's funeral, Zach. I'm trying to remember. This is so sad when you can't remember if somebody OD'd, self-unalived, or was unalived. OD. It was when I went to his funeral last year. I wore a yarmulke out of respect, shook his father's hand, and saw his crying mother and his ex-fiancée. I forget if he had I can't remember. It's really crazy work when you can't keep up with the amount of friends that passed on. The last time I spoke to Zach prior to his removal from this plane was an argument of some kind. He took offense to me saying, yo, man, you know, he was a scrawny rapper, white rapper. And I was concerned that if he met my friends, you know, he had to just kind of watch his P's and Q's. And he was, like, awfully offended. His girlfriend had to, like, calm him down. And I was like, you know, what, bro? What's good? That's the last time I spoke to Zach. His rapper name was Rabid. If you want to go and dig enough, you'll find him. I'm not putting his last name up here. He was Jewish. He didn't practice it, but he didn't judge anybody by anything else but their actions. Why isn't that more popular? I know, you know, it's a good... Humans will look for and create way more problems and issues than we will ever solve. There's an answer, but it's impossible. I hate that impossibility, but it's true. I gotta check the time. I got time. I got a little bit more than a half hour before I gotta punch in. There's much more support for Jews than hate. It's just the most vile and loudest. That's true. I can't wait. I mean, it is masochistic. Thank you for everybody that came out to Stuck in the Middle last time. Our lowest number so far is 17,000 views, 30 new subs. That's our lowest. And I'm proud to say that. And we accidentally had subscribers mode only turned up. What's up, lady? Hey, blondie. Can this Jubian prince holler? Oh, you going in the passenger seat? Probably got some man, huh? Bet. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. I want to play this video. The first video. It's like, I personally, I'm ready to do a whole hour segment on this one individual. And I want to see how many more are out there. It's just, it's reoccurring. It's even in like the conservative mainstream. I consider the mainstream conservative voice to be people like Crowder and Walsh. Walsh doesn't seem to advocate for anti-Semitism, but his chat does. Crowder doesn't seem to advocate for anti-Semitism, but his chat does. Candace Owens, a voice piece of pointing fingers, and if people would that love and adore her and want to fan out to her, I get it. She's saying a lot of provocative things. She's doing some important research. She's saying things that people want to hear, for one. So there's a confirmation bias issue in and of itself. But it's like the shit she spews. Granted, the evidence of Charlie Kirk spazzing out regarding Israeli donors, not Jewish people that speak for all of the Jewish people. And it was these Israeli donors that didn't want him to platform Tucker Carlson or some such. Her entire thing seems to be creating more Jewish hate. And if people looked at her more, I've done, specials about this. I'm tired of pointing this shit out, and I'm not saying to hate her. Just look at the same everything through the same scope that you want to judge or look at anybody else. Says she never benefited from racism in high school. She sued with the NAACP her high school for millions with her mother and the NAACP because she says, survey says, the school was racist. So red flag number one. She made a social media platform that almost blew up, that was created to dox people, that said, quote unquote, hate speech or were bullying, only to use that very platform to practice hate speech and bully people they didn't like and have her minions go after them. Red flag 2. Red flag 3. Her husband is tight, like mad tight, money-wise and friendship-wise with the Tate brothers. I just don't know where to go with that, but they got allegations. They have not been formally charged, or I think they fled a country. They had, the allegation is sex trafficking. YouTube, I know you don't like some of these words, and you just, everybody looks behind that. Look at her interviews with Andrew Tate. Look into the husband's relationship with Andrew Tate and his brother. Nothing but love there. Softball questions, which she's the one known to go after them and go for the throat, to go after anybody, and she is just such a little fucking angel with them. Red flag, I'm losing count. 3, 4, 5 is just tell me she's not tell me she's not an anti-Semite. I want to always look at her reporting and her information without any bias. It just seems like there's a vested interest to either pander to the audience that has this hatred for the Jewish people and to benefit monetarily off of that, or she's got a personal issue with the Jewish people. If she's got an issue with the state of Israel, I'd like to know the nuance. Is it just Netanyahu and the expansion programs in place? Then okay. Everything else, I don't fucking understand. I am pro-Israel and their existence. There are thousands upon thousands of Arabs that coexist with the Israeli people day in, day out, every motherfucking day. You don't see that on the other side of the spectrum. You just fucking don't. And, therein lies my confusion and conflict. I suppose, like the Free Palestine on the left is the ones I laugh at the most. I should be laughing equally at the people that are fringe right and wonder, take that Christian Bible and walk over into a Middle Eastern country and start saying, this God is greater than Allah. What's going to happen to you? You're going to be strung up by your fucking feet is what's going to happen. The next stuck in the middle, there will be a consensus, but I'm going to have my portion to play this shit. I'm not exposing anything, but I have these questions to ask. The phone lines will be open, and the week after, we're going to have our new guests on. That includes CanCon if he's available. I just got to match up his schedule. And a friend of mine that I can't say what he's going to do because it's going to be very public, but he is he's a lefty or a Democrat. I don't want to call him like a radical lefty. His response to me asking about Charlie Kirk was, well, he had it coming, pretty much. This is a best friend of mine for many, many years. What can I say? All right, so she's never been a real conservative. You can watch her without bias, but you'll be watching someone with a crap ton of, exactly. Lots of black people are anti-Semitic, like lots of them. What can I say? Okay, I not currently, but the last 2 jobs I had, I was the minority. I'm trying to, here's an unpopular statement. Minorities, in general, they have, like, some of the most racism, which is hilarious that I've lost a friendship that I really appreciated when I was a Democrat because I called out her people that are minorities can't be racist. It's literally, scientifically, intellectually impossible because they suffer from the very thing. It's only like what was her fucking, this was like in my 20s. It's reverse racism. It's not, I'm like, bitch, or my old friend Diana, listen, I know you're dating an Indian fella, you know, Swami, whatever the fuck, right? She refuses to acknowledge that he was or could be racist. He'd say shit like cracker and talk about like anybody else. I'd say that's racism. She says no, and then had a long fucking multi-paragraphed email about how we can't be friends anymore because I won't acknowledge that he's not racist. It seems like minorities, the ones that you think are the most oppressed, can have the most racism, right? And I can't sit here and say, like, within the, I don't know, in the Jewish community, everybody has fucking racism to some degree, right? Let me look at myself. What am I guilty of? When I worked with the good old boys in the construction community, or for like 8 fucking years installing floors, I was exposed to really bad humor. But am I guilty for laughing? They loved making fun of me as a Jew, but it wasn't the intent. It wasn't to like really hurt me. It was to check out, you know, if my skin was thick and if I could hang. So I guess there's nuance to everything, right? Jeez, man. I'm gonna get into the break room now. I gotta walk down 2 flights of stairs. No, we got escalators in this bitch. I really wish I could just say what job it is, but I don't want to make those mistakes anymore. God bless everybody. Thank you for attending and hearing me out. I'm grateful for that. That in and of itself is a blessing. I thank you all, and I thank God for the opportunity to just breathe again and keep on trying to do better. This job tried to reach me for the past 2 days, and I'm kind of going in with a walk of shame because I was just busy and I wasn't picking up the phone. You know, and I told them, I said, I want to be the guy you could call at the drop of a hat. It just didn't work out that way. Medical shit came up. How much time I got? The next Stuck in the Middle, you can anticipate coverage and videos. I want to ask this guy. I'm going to DM him, and I'm going to ask him if he would join the show as a guest to walk the walk and talk the talk and explain to me why I should be one of them self-hating, not quite Jews, but Jewish enough people. A Jew, or where does it fall? Jubian Prince, or Columba Jew, as Josh eloquently put it. In the scale of, you know, anti-Semitism, where do I fall there? How much do you hate me, Mr. Saunders? That's the last name. I'm gonna share this stuff, not on the, fuck that, I'm not sharing his shit on my community post, but we're gonna play it. That's all I got, you guys. Take care. What's up, HK? There's nothing wrong with a little ribbing. Amen to that. There's ribbing, and then there's seething hatred. Take care, guys. It's work time. Make the donuts.